to our Back to Basics webinar. I am your host, Jamaur, the manager of family and community engagement here at Good Reason Houston, where we believe every child in every neighborhood deserves access to high quality schools. Thank you all so much for being here, joining us this evening. We know that it has been one crazy year this past year, and to help combat that and ease some of the tensions in our community, we've partnered with our friends at Legends Do Live, Prairie View A&M University, 8 Million Stories, Bread of Life, Inc., Harris County Public Health, GirlTalk University, and Hope Disaster Recovery to ease the load. Tonight, we'll be providing access to an unlimited amount of resources for the entire community across the entire region of Houston. We want to give access to health information, vaccinations, mentorship programs, financial assistance, education, housing, credit repair, and so much more. So please stick around, because at the end of this evening, not only will we have tangible giveaways that you will get to have access to from every single one of our presenters, but we are also going to give some giveaways from Harris County Public Health, as well as a raffle for you all to be able to qualify to earn gift cards to shop with Target for back to school. So we are very, very, very excited to have you here. Tonight, every single community member is going to walk away with something tangible that can help them no matter where they live, how many children they may or may not have, how much money they may make. Every single person in every single region of Houston will have access to amazing things tonight. Tonight, we're going to be joined by a panel of partners, and you'll again have access to their resources and be able to ask them questions in real time. Before we get started, we want to share one of our latest endeavors, which is our Blueprint for Change and our Voices for Change commercial. We'd love to share that with our neighbors and our community members. So sit back for a few minutes, have a watch at it, and we'll see you in just a second.
I strongly believe that every kid deserves love, honesty, and a chance to learn.
I grew up in Houston and went to HISD schools, and I have seen a lot of love here. I've seen people who come together during hard times. I see diversity.
We moved to Fifth Ward when I was 11. And so when I think about what's going on now with education, I realized that I had what we need today, which is support.
I love Houston because it's so prideful. I have so many different religions, cultures. It's just full of like Houston pride.
I firmly believe your zip code should not determine where you go to school or how far you get in life. But unfortunately, that's where we are today.
The thing that worries me the most about the education system here in Houston is that the children that live in the low-income, under-resourced area being left behind.
Quality schools can exist in every neighborhood and should exist in every neighborhood.
And I feel like that does hinder their education in a sense, which is why teachers are so important, because we have to fill in that gap.
Every child deserves an exceptional school that will provide them with great teaching.
So I think Houston right now is at a point where we're seeing a lot of change. The more we talk to parents in Houston, in areas where they haven't been talked to historically, we're hearing that they're ready. We're seeing more parents and more students, really speaking out about what they need. But there's still a lot more work to be done. There's still a lot of people we need to talk to and voices that need to be represented.
It's not time to point fingers. It's time to find resolutions and ways of correcting the problems that are set before our boys and girls.
We want to level the playing field and give the students an opportunity to win the game off of their characteristics and their skills, and not be defined by the circumstances that they're coming from.
It's a team thing. So if you build a team with your teacher, then there's no limit to what that classroom can offer the child.
Parents are such a vital part of our educational system, and they hold a lot of the work.
And I'm going to stand up. I'm going to speak. I'm going to be my kid's voice. I'm going to advocate for my children. Anybody's children that doesn't have parents, I'm going to stand up and speak out.
I think effective leadership brings togetherness.
And I know that the children are our future. And if we as adults change the way we think and what we do, we can help our children.
Every student that I run across, I feel like everyone has potential.
These are our future doctors, lawyers, news anchors, our future baristas at our local coffee shop.
Houston is growing in a dynamic way, and we need to raise our students now to be the future leaders, movers, and shakers, because they're going to be leading the city, country, and nation.
They are helping society move forward in a way that's productive.
We really need everyone working together across all sectors to build a better tomorrow for our children and for our next generation.
So that was our Voices for Change video, and we are just so excited to move to the next level in our work. Again, we want to make sure that all children, all neighbors, everyone in every part of the region of Houston has access to high quality schools, as well as all the resources that they need. What I'm going to do at this time is drop my contact information in our chat for all of our community members. We see that our numbers are continuing to increase for those who are here. So welcome for those of you who are here. Wanting to make sure that those people who want to join our Blueprint for Change and our community coalition that meets every single first Wednesday with these great people, as well as 27 plus other partners around Houston, every single first Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. If you want to join that coalition, if you want to be the change, the voice, the agent in Houston, give me a call, shoot me an email. Let's get you on the team. Without further ado, again, for those of you who are just joining, this is our Back to Basics webinar where every single neighbor will walk away with tangible resources tonight. And one of the big things that we want to call out is we know that COVID has been something that has been looming for over a year. We know that it has affected our schools, it's affected our communities, it's affected some quality of life, but we want to make sure that there's some silver lining and some hope. And so we've invited our partners, Kyle Maroney with Harris County Public Health, who is the resiliency specialist there, who is going to give us a presentation and talk about COVID and talk about the vaccines, because what we do know is that the more students that we have in the classroom, the more teachers that we have focused on learning, we can decrease some of those learning gaps that we have seen in the past year. But the only way that we can do that is to make sure that we're engaging healthy. So at this time, we are going to turn the floor over to Kyle and let him co-host and share the information that he has about vaccination readiness and all the other information with our community.
Hi, everybody. This is Kyle Maroney here. First of all, before I continue, can you all hear me okay? Jamaur, am I good? Give me a thumbs up, give some likes in the chat. Okay, sounds good. Okay, my name is Kyle Maroney. I work with Harris County Public Health in the Office of Public Health Preparedness and Response, where I serve as a community resilience specialist. I primarily work with culturally and linguistically diverse community members to enhance community resilience and to help them prepare for disasters. As you all have known, we have been in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic for over 18 months now, I believe, and we are still continuing to fight on behalf and for our community members. One of the core principles of our health department is that we believe that health happens where we live, learn, work, worship, and play. And the work that Good Reason Houston definitely tries to make sure that we shore up the education and where our students and where some of our community members not only go to school and learn, but also where they oftentimes are in a space where they play. So my presentation is going to be fairly short, but this is going to give you some high-level updates where we currently are in Houston in terms of COVID-19 and some of the things that we need to do to continue to try best to get around this COVID-19 pandemic. So go to my next slide. All right, so a brief agenda for today. We're going to go through a COVID-19 update, testing services being offered currently, vaccine services being offered currently, some resources that you can access after my presentation. And if you all might have questions, but I'm certainly going to save questions for the end. So go to the next slide. Our current threat level was elevated a couple weeks ago to severe, meaning that we have a large amount of COVID-19 being spread across the county. It is currently being advised that folks who are vaccinated and unvaccinated, it is recommended, not mandated, that you all, that all of us wear masks to make sure that we stay safe, especially when attending events indoors. So this is just a high level update on where we are currently in terms of our threat level. So currently 56.8% of the eligible population in Harris County has been vaccinated. This slide gives us a snapshot of the eligible population, specifically those who are 12 and up, because currently children below 12 cannot get vaccinated. 46.8% of the total population has been vaccinated, and 68.9% of the eligible population has been partially vaccinated. So this is just to give you a brief idea of where we are. We're slowly increasing every single day in terms of our vaccine numbers to try to hit that magic herd immunity. So this is giving you a snapshot of some of the numbers that we're seeing so far within the pandemic. The top parts of the slide has been omitted, but the last number gives us the amount of deaths that we've had throughout the COVID-19 pandemic in Harris County. As you can see, this gives us a good snapshot of our reported cases that we've seen throughout the pandemic. And for us who kind of live in this every day, we haven't seen numbers like this since the beginning of the year, around January, February. So we're now officially in the fourth wave of the pandemic. And for us, you would never think that we'll be here again, but here we are, and we're trying our best every single day to try to work on behalf of our community members. So we're currently seeing elevated rise in COVID numbers across the county. And with that, we're also seeing elevated numbers of folks getting tested and also folks getting vaccinated. So we currently operate COVID-19 testing sites at 3 stationary sites across the county: San Jacinto College Central, East Aldine, Lone Star College Cypress. And if you'd like to get tested, you can visit covecheck.hctx.net, or you can call the number below at 832-927-7575. Okay, and with our focus on our COVID-19 vaccines, from the very beginning when vaccines first rolled out, Harris County Public Health has a focus, a cornerstone of what we do in terms of thinking about health equity. I know Good Reason Houston has a focus on education equity. These things don't exist in silos. These things interact because we recognize that our community members not only live in certain zip codes, they also go to school in certain zip codes. And these things affect the health and the livelihoods of all of our community members. So we want to make sure that we focus our vaccine efforts on where people who need it the most are, and where folks who live in certain places need it the most are. So those are the two foci that we have for our vaccine equity strategy, which I work closely on with my supervisor, along with the health equity senior planner for our health department. We currently still operate a mass vaccine site at NRG from 12 to 7 p.m. And as you all may know, you can get vaccines from everywhere from Walgreens to CVS to your doctor's office. So continue. At this juncture, we have coordinated at least 19 back to school events. Those are currently in progress. We always are looking for innovative and creative ways to try best to increase vaccine efforts. If any of you on this call are interested in working with me, we worked with Good Reason Houston in the past to just work on coordinating the town hall to kind of help folks get vaccinated and answer some of the questions or some of the fears that they might have. We are always looking for opportunities for collaboration, and that is a primary component of what I do, is to try to think of innovative and creative ways with partners and to think about ways in which we can get more folks vaccinated and more folks educated around the vaccines and just health in general. So far, a total of 8,647 people have been vaccinated at school events. That number might be a little bit higher because this is updated as of last week. So continue. Some resources to think about that we have available. If you need more information on getting vaccinated, you can visit vaxtrack.hctx.net, or call us at 832-927-8787. And if you are a data nerd like I am, if you want more data, you can go to our vaccine hub, you can visit our webpage, or you can visit our webpage on local vaccine providers. I enjoy diving into the data because the data can tell you a beautiful story in terms of thinking about where we are and thinking about where we could where we're possibly going. So some opportunities for organization collaboration, as we've done with Good Reason Houston. Every person in Harris County who is informed and armed with this information I've just provided you, you now have not a responsibility, but you have an opportunity to share information with your neighbors, with your community members, because we recognize that oftentimes, in terms of thinking about folks getting vaccinated, folks protecting themselves from COVID, whether that's making sure that you social distance, making sure that you wear your mask, oftentimes that information comes from your neighbor, your friend, your family member. So be sure to not only continue to amplify the public health message I just shared with you, but to share feedback that you hear from community members on reasons why they're concerned about getting vaccinated, reasons why they feel a certain way about COVID. And if you are interested in hosting a vaccine event, please reach out to me because we're always, again, looking for opportunities to collaborate. If you can't do one, if you can't do two, please try to do all three. So I really appreciate all of your support in doing at least one of these things that I've just listed. Again, after our county judge elevated our threat level to red, some things to think about. These are not mandates. These are recommendations for community members, making sure that you continue to mask up, avoid any medium or large gatherings. Unvaccinated residents should minimize contact with others, and try your best to visit businesses that follow public health guidance. Making sure that the businesses that you are patronizing, make sure that they take the COVID protocol seriously, because if they're a high trafficked business, you want to make sure that they're continuing to clean and sanitize and doing those things to make sure that patrons who visit those businesses are protected. So these are some of the partners, as you can see, that we've worked with. Good Reason Houston being one of the primary partners that we've worked with. We worked with non-denominational, CB community-based organizations, universities, churches. Our partners are the backbone of the equity work that we do in health. Without the partners across Harris County, we could not do the work that we've done over the pandemic. They've provided and allowed us to be at their space at no cost to provide vaccinations, testing, hosting seminars, whether virtually or in person. Our partners are the reason why we're able to continue to go through this fight, because when we think about our response to COVID and in any other disaster, we take a whole community approach. So next slide. And one amazing thing that has just happened here in Harris County, our county judge launched a $100 gift card disbursement across all of our vaccine sites. So if you get vaccinated in any of Harris County's vaccine sites, you will receive a $100 gift card, whether in hand, virtual, or via text. So if you know of anybody who's interested in getting vaccinated, this might be a really good time to get vaccinated, because I know $100 can go a long way for a lot of people who've been economically harmed during the pandemic. So I would leave with that. That is a very important note. If you know of anybody who's interested in getting vaccinated, please visit our website, which I will drop in the chat after I finish my presentation. And finally, I provided my contact information. I'll let this sit here until I come to Jamaur, but you can reach me at the numbers above. You can use either number of my email, or you can contact Stacey Lofton, who serves as the Senior Policy Planner for Health Equity. So feel free to reach out. We're always available to help our community and to support and answer any questions that our community members might have. So thank you, Jamaur, for your time, and I will turn it over to you.
Kyle, thank you so much for all those amazing resources. We've got a number of questions that already started rolling in for you. And for those of you community members who are here, we want you to make sure that you're sticking around all evening long. We've got some great giveaways throughout the end of our presentation from Harris County Public Health, as well as the opportunity for you to qualify for some targeted gift cards to do some back to school shopping. And at the conclusion of all of our presentations, we're going to have some question and answers because there's been some good ones bubbling up. And before we shift to our next presenter, Kyle, will you let us know, I know you said it before, but just let the community know where are some of your testing sites, or where's the next testing site, or how can folks sign up to get tested? Oh, we can't hear you.
Sorry, guys, mute. So thinking about places where you can get tested, as I've stated, we have 3 stationary sites, and I can put this in the chat at San Jacinto College Central, East Aldine District, Lone Star College, Cypress. And you can find more information on testing at coachcheck.hctx.net or call 832-927-7575. So I'll be sure to drop this in the chats for everybody who needs it.
Thank you so much. And for those community members who are here, we want to make sure that every single presenter that's here, they're going to be dropping real resources in the chats for you to walk away with. We want to make sure that every single person can walk away with resources in real time. So next, we want to talk about this. So we know, again, not only has COVID hit our communities, but kind of speaking on what Kyle said before, economic impact has been a huge, huge thing. And so what we wanted to do is our friends at Hope Disaster Recovery, we've been partnering with them for a few months now, and Kimberly Jordan is here, and she's got some amazing resources to help every single person across the region out. So I am super excited about the things that she has to say, because I'm excited for myself to get some of those resources. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it on over to Kimberly, and Kimberly, I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay, thank you, Jamaur. Hi, everyone. My name is Kimberly Jordan, and I'm the Director of Case Management at Hope Disaster Recovery. And right now, Hope Disaster Recovery is serving as a navigator agency for the Houston-Harris County Emergency Rental Assistance Program. So, and we're also working with another program with Harris County that I'm going to discuss as well. So with the Houston-Harris County Emergency Rental Assistance Program, renters that reside in Harris County can apply for back rent and future rent as well, if they've been impacted by COVID-19. And this could look like someone losing their job, someone catching COVID and maybe got behind on their rent, someone collected unemployment benefits, anyone that is enrolled in any type of public benefits program such as SNAP, Medicaid, even Head Start would all automatically qualify without any income requirements, as well as SSI residents. And so with that being said, the program offers 12 months back rent. So we can go all the way back until April of 2020. We're in 2021, right? Yeah, so April 2020. And so they can apply for that month back, and they can also request 2 months of future rent ahead of time, so they can kind of, get back on their feet and get stable. As far as eligibility requirements, you would have to be a resident of Harris County, be 18 years or older, or an emancipated minor. Household income must be at or below the 80% area median income. Experiencing some type of housing instability, could be like facing eviction, got a court notice, and things like that. And also, as I mentioned earlier, experience some type of financial hardship as a result of COVID-19. And so what Hope Disaster Recovery does, we don't officially do the approvals, but we assist with application support. And this looks like we get referrals maybe from different agencies, even just from all over Houston. We submit the application on behalf of the clients. We have check status, and we kind of advocate for that renter throughout the process. If they get denied, we'll follow up with the eligibility specialist to kind of see what's going on. So we kind of like their support system throughout the whole process. So it's very good to kind of use a navigation agency so you can have that support. The next program that I'm going to discuss, I'm sure you guys have probably seen it on the news, the one-time $1,500 payment with Harris County. Have you guys seen that all over the news? Yes. So I have some good news, and you guys are hearing it here first. We just completed the enrollment process for that, and that ended on August the 11th. So I just got word today that they're going to be doing a second round of $1,500 payments. And so that will start September the 8th, and it's only going to be for 1 week. We will be doing applications for that as well. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that program. All right. So 1 second. So for that program, it's a one-time payment of $1,500 for emergency assistance. Minimum requirements very similar to the rental assistance program. Applications, of course, must be 18 years or older or an emancipated minor. And you can have at least one member in the family participating in a public benefits program. So basically, if I get SSI or SNAP, I would only need my award letter and my ID to apply, nothing else. It's very simple, you know. And if you get unemployment or if you receive unemployment benefits in the past, you can use your letter from last year to show that you were financially impacted by COVID-19. And let's see, for that one, the income did drop, the area median income versus the rental assistance program, which is 80% of the AMI. So with this program, it is 60% of the AMI. But typically, like I said, if you SSI, already unemployment, SNAP, Medicaid, you don't have to show any proof of income. And also, it also helps with people that are self-employed. If you can't show your income, we have this form called a self-certification form. And that just, you're saying, hey, I get paid in cash. I don't have any proof of income, but I still want to apply for assistance. And I also want to add, for the rental assistance program, it is open for documented and undocumented renters. So I want to add that as well, because I know we have a lot of residents that may be, you know, facing some type of immigration status thing. So we can help those renters as well, but that's only for the rental assistance. So I think that's all I have. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll be, you know, happy to address them a little bit later.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. I think it's really great for you to provide that information. Love the fact and very, very excited about the resource that you have. And we've already got some great questions. We got 2 already bubbling up for you at the end of the presentation. So we are very, very excited about that. The next thing that we want to talk about again, and for those of you who have questions all evening long, we want you to drop them in here. We've got some minutes left for the presentations. We've got some really great things coming up, but we want to make sure that your questions are answered and that there are some tangible resources for you to walk away with. And before we transition to our next speaker, Kimberly, if you could just drop a website or a link in there for our community members as well, so they can have something to walk away with. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Jamaur.
No problem. Another thing, in addition to our economic resources that were really, really important to us, we wanted to make sure that, again, our communities have been affected, not just by our health and not just financially. There's so many community branches of our community that have really been impacted. And so we have partnered with our friends over there at Bread of Life, Inc. and Morgan and her crew to bring us some great resources and talk to us about what they've got going on in the community that can help our friends and our family members as we head back into our school year. So Morgan, go ahead and take it away.
Good evening. I'm going to share my screen. It's a short presentation, but overall, hoping that you walk away with a tangible resource. So just a little background. My name is Morgan Rasmus. I'm the Director of Health Outcomes at the Bread of Life Houston. And for the past 30 years, we have worked to eradicate food insecurity while improving health outcomes in historically underserved communities in Houston, as well as providing the fundamental human needs of love, hope, dignity, and belonging through our mission of overcoming barriers together with compassion to restore hope for Houston. We have a variety of community program areas. So we cover hunger relief, homeless outreach, health outcomes, and we also have a community radio station, Amazing 102.5, tune in, listen. It works best in the loop. So if you need to, you can download the TuneIn app and it works better outside the loop. One of our community programs, it's our newest program, it's called the Community Health Worker Program. So these are members in your community who live in your neighborhood or in your apartment complex who are making sure that you get connected with resources. Their end goal is to make sure you're connected with various resources. So they are your neighbors. And the next slide shows the 4 areas we're in at the moment. We're in 3rd Ward, Sunnyside, Southwest Gulfton and Sharpstown, and Pasadena, Texas. These are the community care workers. They are wonderful people. I will put this in the chat at the end just so you can have their information, or if you need a specific one, feel free to email me. but they are to make sure that you get whatever resource you need. So if that's Pampers for like your neighbor's baby, they can find that for you. If you need to connect with anybody else, they can also help you with that. But what I wanted to make sure you walk away with is this Saturday, August 21st, we are having our monthly food and supply distribution. Lucille's is a restaurant downtown. They will be providing free meals to every car that comes through the line. And True Care Pharmacy will be providing free COVID vaccines. And thanks to Harris County, the gift card is now $100 for your very first vaccine dose with us. We do ask that you pre-register, but you do not have to. So like if you can't figure out how to use it, don't worry about it, just show up and we'll make sure you get served. But it just helps us be better prepared for you when you do show up. So yeah, that is, these are some of our partners in our work. It's a variety of churches, small businesses. University of Houston actually supports our community health workers. They're the ones who train them. And they're your neighbors. So that's it. And yeah, thank you. So if you have any general questions, you can feel free to email info@breadoflifeinc.org, or if you have a more specific question that you feel like I might be able to answer, my email is morganrasmus@breadoflifeinc.org, and I will post the registration link in the chat and my email in the chat if you have any questions. And I also post a flyer just in case.
Now, Morgan, did I hear you say that there are going to be free meals this weekend?
Yes, from Lucille's.
Okay,
so just get in your car and drive through the line. Just pull up. I can go back to that slide actually if you need the address. So it's at 2019 Crawford Street. There will be people directing you to the line. People get there pretty early. So if you can get there early before 8 a.m., I would suggest that. But we begin serving at 8 a.m.
Okay, so I'm going to pull around twice so I can get 2 of those meals.
I'm not sure how many you get. So I don't know. Like everybody just try it out and see.
Well, thank you so much for those tangible resources. Cannot wait to see what you've got to drop in the chat for our neighbors and our community members. Really excited about that and you all addressing the food inequities in our communities. And we really, really appreciate that. Up next, what we wanted to make sure before we get to our keynote speaker, we're very excited about. We've got Stacey Childs. Something that is really important to us as we head back into our schools. We actually got the opportunity to talk to some neighbors during this time, during the pandemic. And there were a number of neighbors who were saying, you know, their concern was we do have programs in Houston for young men, but there were a lack of or not able to find some programs for young girls across Houston. And so we have been in conversations and hanging out with Stacey for a while, and we love the work that she is doing at GirlTalk University. So we are going to go on ahead and talk with Stacey really quickly and hear what Stacey has to say.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Thank you for inviting me, Jamaur. I feel very honored to be amongst all of you. Again, my name is Stacey, and I currently run GirlTalk U. GirlTalk U is a nonprofit organization which strives to promote positive self-image and confidence in girls and adult women through having intimate conversations. We have these intimate conversations in 5 ways. The first way is through one-on-one mentorship. The second way is through a workshop in which we go to schools and we promote our 33-lesson curriculum on lessons dealing with healthy habits, to college and career readiness, to self-identity, to politics. We talk about everything in that workshop. We have a weekly podcast. And lastly, we do pop-ups and adult programming sessions because we believe even when women grow up, it's never too late to improve your confidence. Something that's really important that we added to GirlTalk U this year in response to COVID is the academic achievement portion. What the federal government has realized is that students have a lot of gaps now because some of them have been learning virtually all year. Some of them have not been in person for a year, and there are a lot of educational gaps. And the federal government released a lot of funds, and they're really trying to challenge the community to step up to the plate and help these students fill these academic gaps. So that's what we'll be doing at Worthing High School, I'm proud to say, starting next week. And we're wanting to bring our programming to more schools across Houston and do a little bit more one-on-one mentoring with girls across the city. So if you have a girl or if you have a teenager that's kind of having a hard time, or maybe she just needs a little bit more interaction with someone a little older than her, I'm your girl. Just
Uh-oh, Stacey, we can't hear you.
if you have a girl or if you have a teenager that's having a hard time, or if you need some sort of one-on-one support, feel free to contact me via the website that I put in the chat or the phone number. And I'll just share this quick video with you. Hold 1 second.
Stacey, we can share it on our end for you.
Okay.
Okay. Let me share it with you.
Okay. Go ahead, Jamaur. Everyone, I'm Stacey here, and I'm representing.
One second. It tried it with both of us, didn't it?
See, that's what I get for trying to do a video, you know? That's what I get for trying to, you know.
No, it's okay. It's coming right back up.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. And Stacey,
hi everyone.
Here we go.
I'm Stacey.
Let me share for you.
Here, and I'm representing GirlTalk U. You need GirlTalk University at your school, and I'm going to explain why. It's 2021. We're a year and a half post-pandemic. What have girls been doing for the past year and a half? I'll tell you what they've been doing. They've been sitting at home. They've been learning virtually. They've been without any interaction from their friends, from older people, and from the world at large. How can we help? We can help in a number of ways. We can bring high quality facilitators to your school, and we can engage in intimate, thought-provoking conversations with these girls to help them promote their positive self-image, their confidence. We can answer any questions that have been burning inside of them since this pandemic started, and we can set them on their way. We don't want girls to continue to believe the lies that they may have been told. And we want girls to have positive, healthy interactions with people a little older than them so that they can get the questions that they need answered. So yes, you need GirlTalk University at your school. Girls do need help with academics. They do need help with achieving success in school, but they need a shoulder to cry on, and they need someone to talk to so they're not holding this stuff inside. So bring GirlTalk U to your campus. Thank you, Jamaur, for coming in the clutch.
No
So yes, I just wanted to share a little bit about GirlTalk University. For those parents or those community leaders that may be on the call, if you have direct contact with any girl or woman, please reach out via the website or give me a call. I'd be happy to talk with you. We do one-on-one mentorship all the time. And I just want to challenge someone to touch a girl and tap her on the shoulder and ask her how she's doing, because COVID-19 did a woozy on our physical health, but it also did damage on our emotional health, how we feel about ourselves, and just navigating the world. There are a lot of kids out there that are feeling really isolated, that are feeling really sad, and they don't know how to get out of the rut they may have been in. So I just wanted to challenge you guys with that. That's it.
Thank you so much, Stacey. And we've already got 2 questions bubbling up for you during question and answer already, so we're excited about that. If you can drop your website for GirlTalk University so that the parents can have access to those, that resource, we are excited about that. Before we get to our keynote speaker, we have got Marvin Pierre, who is the founder of 8 Million Stories, one of our favorite people here at Good Reason Houston, a fan favorite here at Good Reason Houston and throughout Houston, Texas. Marvin has just so many amazing things that he is connected to and helping young men and women out in the Houston community. And we know, again, to Stacey's point, how the past year has really impacted our children. It's really impacted our psyche. It's really impacted our community. And so Marvin and his team are here to talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to turn it over to Marvin and talk about the resources that he has to offer our community.
Appreciate you, Jamaur. Good afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to be here with all of these great leaders in our community. I'll share my screen, and if I have time, I'd love to share a video that gives a more in-depth look at 8 million stories. Let me get this going here. Can you guys see my screen?
We can.
Cool. So 8 million stories, our goal and our mission is really essentially to provide a network of support and access that helps to close the opportunity gap for young people in traditionally underserved communities between the ages of 12 to 21. Ultimately, our goal is to ensure that they have the necessary skills and resources that put them on a life trajectory of success and self-sufficiency as they transition into adulthood. This is an overview of our amazing executive leadership team. My right hand, Skyra Thomas, who has been the foundation for 8 Million Stories. And without her, I don't think I would be here speaking to you all today. So I'll give you guys a quick overview of our program. We started 8 Million Stories to address a major issue in the city of Houston. Prior to COVID, on an annual basis, we referred almost 12,000 kids a year to the juvenile justice system. And many of those referrals were for mostly non-felony offenses, things that don't warrant a young person to spend anywhere from 3 months to sometimes 2 years or more in a juvenile detention facility. And to make matters worse, many of our kids had several challenges transitioning back into their community schools after serving that length of various lengths of sentences in a juvenile detention facility. And what I want to showcase here for you all to really drive this home is that, as you can see here, this is just a racial breakdown of how many kids by race are incarcerated in our juvenile detention facilities. And as you can see, Black youth are leading the way in all categories, admission and referrals. And what's concerning about this is Black kids make up 40% of the juvenile population. However, they make up only 25% of the entire population in the entire school district. So they are the minorities in our schools, but they are the majority in our detention facilities. So our city, our county has a lot of work to do to address the mass incarceration of Black youth in our detention facilities and also in our adult criminal justice system. And so when a young person goes through the detention facility and are looking to reintegrate themselves back into their community schools, they're met with several barriers to reentry. Schools have already identified them as troublemakers or too far removed from the school environments to actually help them get caught up on their academics. And so schools have become very savvy at keeping kids out, especially kids that they don't want to serve. And ultimately what happens for our young people who come in contact with the criminal justice system, they end up back in that same system within the span of 3 months because they have no access to education or meaningful employment. And so 8 Million Stories was uniquely created to address and give an alternative pathway for this specific population to get their education, receive the essential job readiness skills that they need to be model citizens, but most importantly, to address the social and emotional needs that many of our kids have in our schools today and often don't get the services that they need. So this is an overview of our student population. Most of our students that we serve are males, average age of 17, Black and brown youth. When our students come to us, most of them are 3 or more grades behind. So most of our kids have, the last grade most of them have completed is either 7th or 8th grade at the age of 17. And so as you can imagine, we have a significant academic and social gaps that we need to close in a relatively short amount of time. This is a quick overview of the life cycle of a student at 8 Million Stories. Most of our referrals come from the probation department, government agencies, community organizations. Our enrollment takes on many different forms. We assess students for academic skill sets, social needs, mental wellness, and also other various things such as housing and employment needs as well. Each student is then put on an individualized plan that is customized for them to meet their unique specific needs. And we really work closely with our students to ensure that they work that plan throughout the time that they're with us at 8 Million Stories. Ultimately, the goal is to get every student in our program a GED, a vocational trade, and help them develop the critical soft skills within a 8 to 12 month time span. And then ultimately, the goal is to now then transition our young people to college or career technical schools, post-graduation from our program. This is an overview of the impact we've had over the past 3 years. 57% of our kids have gotten employment through 8 Million Stories. 8% of our kids have gone on to post-secondary education. 41% of our students have earned a high school equivalency diploma with us. 100% of our kids receive at least one nationally recognized certification. And the most important thing is recidivism. The number of kids that have ended up back inside of the criminal justice system after graduating from 8 million stories is at 5%. And so we really use that as a key indicator to show that education and employment opportunities and in addressing some of the social needs of our students really are key factors in keeping our kids out of a system that is designed to help to ensure that they fail in life. So this work is not possible without funders and sponsors. This is a quick overview of the sponsors that we've been able to develop and get support for helping the most vulnerable population in our city in just 2 years, which is something that's very not common for a startup nonprofit, which is what we are. So Nike, BT, Toyota, Chick-fil-A have all become sponsors and true advocates for this population. And one of the things we've done really well is really to educate our business communities and our corporate communities about the need for them to really invest in this population of youth that oftentimes are very much so overlooked. So these are just a quick snapshot of our employer partners who also are invested in our work and believe in investing in the same population. College is a big thing for us. We are wholly centered on disrupting generational poverty. And so we believe education or career technical skills is the pathway to doing that. And so these are just a couple of the schools that we currently have 8 Million Stories alumni at. And then these are the new schools that we are working with to develop relationships. Shout out to Dr. Simmons, who I'm excited to connect with about creating a pathway and a partnership for our students at 8 Million Stories to attend PV in Oklahoma State, University of Houston, and University of Houston downtown. So really excited about growing the number of students that we're sending off to school. This year, we sent off 7 kids, and our goal is to send 15 to 20 in 2021-22 school year. Some new program initiatives that we're kicking off this year that we're excited about. Another partnership that we're doing with Annie Casey Foundation and PV, which is a teen connecting parent program where our staff will be trained to help educate parents and coach them on how to really support the needs of their teens and ensuring that our teens are developing in a healthy way. The Sons of Promise mentoring program is a way for us to be more preventative in the work that we're doing to address at-risk youth being directly funneled into our criminal justice system. And so targeting middle school boys in the Third Ward community and Sunnyside community and helping them get connected to mentors and critical programs and self-development programs that really ensure that our young people are on a path to self-discovery, on the right path of that, and ensuring that they have access to the resources that they need to be successful in life. And so we're excited to launch that program, and we're doing a big kickoff this Saturday in partnership with Under Armour and Travis Manion. The next program we have is the Teen Mom program. We're working to address teen pregnancy. So this past summer and year as well, we saw a lot of teen moms come through our program. And one of the things that was concerning for us was that many of them did not have the resources or the education on how to really go through the stages of motherhood. I'm not a mother, but I really felt disturbed by what I saw and the lack of support that our young girls are getting in the community and within their families. And the last 2 things is we're launching several new initiatives to teach the fundamentals of entrepreneurship to our young people. We're starting off through health and wellness through a juicing company called Juice for Justice, which we're hoping to kick off in 5th Ward. And then the next program we're working on is a SLAB program through a sponsorship with General Motors and in partnership with IO and 713 Motoring, where we're going to actually educate young boys, specifically Black boys in 5th Ward, about the career that is possible for them in the customization of automobiles. Some opportunities to engage in our work. We're currently right now looking for a programs manager, looking for someone to help carry the load of running an organization with us, an operations associate, a career coach, and case manager. Volunteer opportunities, we're always in need of tutors, and then social media management, and can't get enough of community outreach. So helping to spread the word about the work that we're doing and how we're impacting lives. And then this is just a quick flyer of our back to school event that we're doing this Saturday at the Good Hope Missionary Baptist Church. We're giving out Under Armour backpacks. The kids will go through a 2-hour workshop on leadership, team building. There'll be food, all types of good prizes given away. We're giving out Bluetooth speakers. So if you know of any middle schoolers between the ages of 10 to 13, please send them our way, have them register. The QR code is on this flyer here. And if you can feel free to reach out directly to me if you have any questions. And then we're also kicking off our programming year, and we're looking to recruit about 15 more students for the 8 Million Stories first cohort of the fall semester. So if you know of any young person who is out of school and out of work between the ages of 16 to 21 and could benefit from what we're offering, please send them our way. Our services are completely free. We love on kids, we support them, and we hold them to a high standard of accountability and expectation and excellence. And so we want to serve Black and brown youth, and that's why we're in the heart of Third Ward and looking to serve our young people who need a little bit more direction and are just misguided right now. So if you know of any young person that could benefit from this, feel free to let them know about what we do and connect us. And Jamaur, I don't know if I have time for a 3-minute video.
We don't, but
okay. I'll put the link in the chat.
Please, yes, that's what I was going to say. And I just want to say that throughout your presentation, my cell phone has been going crazy because everyone is so excited. I've gotten 4 text messages already. Can you drop the link as well for 8 Million Stories so that people can have access to you and everything that you guys are doing? This is just amazing. Loving the fact that there are community resources as well as career resources for our people and those in the community. So very excited. Also, for those neighbors here who want to connect and want me to send you over a gamut of these resources, my email is in the chat as well. I'm going to put my telephone number if you want to connect with me offline this week to make sure that you are wholly connected to all of these things. I'm going to make sure to put that in there. The next thing I want to do really quickly before we get to our keynote speaker, speaking of Prairie View A&M University, we have been very excited about our partnership with Prairie View A&M University. And tonight, for just a few minutes, we've got Mr. Greg Rose here, who is doing amazing things in the community and with Prairie View A&M University to talk about some of the resources that they have got here for us. So Greg, if you could take it away.
Thank you, Jamaur. Hello, everyone out there. My name is Greg Rose. I am the county extension agent for Prairie View A&M University's cooperative extension program. A lot of people may not know what our extension program is, but we are basically the resource for community resources. So we connect individuals with Rural Workforce Academy. We do Rural Workforce Academy. We also do our BID Academy, which is Business and Development, which basically takes small businesses and puts them on a level to be competitive within the state of Texas so they can go out and get contracts with the state of Texas, agencies like hospitals, government agencies, things like that. We also provide programming in various topics, including grant opportunities, entrepreneurship, financial literacy. We have quite a few programs. I don't have a slide, but I do have our website that I can direct you to. But for the most part, as an extension agent, I am responsible for going into communities and being able to provide either education or a resource that people may need. We also do home buyers education, first-time home buyers. So if a person is looking to get into a home, but they're discouraged because they heard everything about loans and credit scores and all those other things, we're here to help. We don't just give you the information and walk away. Extension agents are there to, I don't want to say it, but almost hold your hand and walk you through with it, because we know that sometimes it can be a very intimidating process, whether that's applying for a house or a loan for a house, whether that's trying to start your business, your LLC. So we literally put you through a process where we are there with you. We give you kind of a one-on-one. We hold your hand, we walk through with you so that we can be able to put you on a level where you are greater than what you have been right now, right? So you're great, we want to get you a little bit greater. So we're able to do those things. We have the resources available. We're funded through USDA. So we're one of the largest organizations that USDA funds. We have great things that we have going on. So like I said, I'll drop our website into the chat. We do help. I seen a question, do we help with credit? So we do have credit restoration programs. We have credit management. We have various collaborations and various partnerships with banks. We work with Regions Bank, we work with Frost Bank, Amergy Bank. All of these different banks are willing and wanting to do programs with the community. So we are the ones that connect them. We go through schools and we try to put programs on for our students. We have programs like food entrepreneur, entrepreneurship, youth entrepreneurship, techpreneurship. So we have these different programs that are exciting. Like I said, I'm all of Harris County. So Harris County is my territory. So I am the one that goes there. So if you want more information, I'll drop my email address as well as the link to our website. You can go to our website and check it out. Just look for community and economic and development, but that'll take you to our cooperative extension website. So again, my name is Greg. I'm happy to serve. If you need anything, shoot me an email. I am, if I don't have the answer, I'll find it for you. So thank you again. Thank you, Jamaur, for bringing me on.
Thank you so much, Greg, for being here. So excited to hear about these resources, especially getting people into houses and helping with that credit management and walking people through, because that process can be daunting because sometimes adulting is really hard. So thank you guys so much for that resource. Without further ado, we are extremely excited. Tonight, we've got our keynote speaker, who is Jarren Small. I want to introduce him, just read a little bit about who this amazing man is, this community person, this change agent. Jarren is actually a millennial from Missouri City, Texas, and he believes in striving for greatness and paying it forward. While he attending Hightower High School, he was accepted into the Broadcast Media Academy, and he found comfort in expanding his knowledge in media. He is actually a graduate of Prairie View A&M University, where we produce productive people. Today, Jarren is the founder and innovator of Small Media and a nonprofit, Legends Do Live. He also leads amazing work with Legends Do Live and Reading with a Rapper, and he develops and encourages youth by providing events for them, places for them to learn, grow, and have exposure to all types of things. Jarren is one of our favorite people. He's doing so much great work in the community, and his goal is to make sure that he is leading by example, and the example of what a citizen of the city of Houston is, and he is invested in children. So ladies and gentlemen, I, without further ado, introduce one of our favorite people, my favorite people, a legend who is actually living, Jarren Small.
Jamaur, thank you so much, man. That was a great introduction. You do a really good job of always introducing people really well. I really want to come to you guys really quickly just to talk about some of the stuff that we're doing here at Legends to Live and Reading and Rapping, and also maybe some things that the parents and people that can take away as they go into this next scholastic school year, because from all the speakers that have spoken prior to me, that it's been a hard 2 years. And if you really think about it, the last 2 years, kids haven't had a normal life. And even goes, it's kind of trickled down into parents, trickled down into teachers, which ultimately trickles down to our community. So I'm going to be able to share my screen with you. Yes. Boom. I have a little presentation. Okay. I'll call myself a cultural engineer. I graduated from Prairie View University in 2012, started my nonprofit in 2013, and I'm 31 years old, and I majored in mass comm and minor in marketing. So one of the things that we're gonna go to, let's see. All right, one of my company's Reading and Rapper, and ultimately we create ELA academics to teach kids how to read and write through video content technology, right? Through this platform, we can later uplift our youth socially, academically, skills necessary to thrive in secondary and collegiate level courses. I'm not going to play the video because it gets into too much, but essentially you can kind of see from this that I literally changed the environment where these kids go. So when they walk into a classroom, it might be red, blue, green, because from research and data shows that we can dictate moods by colors, right? And if you don't pay attention, like when you go to a fast food restaurant, and you see red or blue, that's on purpose because they know you can see it from far away. And so also with this, you can see they have headphones on. And if the kids are listening to music as they read it, they can actually retain it quicker and faster. So we're saying that you can actually teach kids how to read and write quicker and faster by simply how you give them the information in 8 weeks versus a whole school year. We did 30,000 kids within 1 year between Houston, New Orleans, and Atlanta, working with Microsoft. And now moving into this school year, I told Jamaur I'll talk about it a little bit, but we'll be going into renovating classrooms with Kids Foot Locker in Atlanta and Houston. We're working with Apple specifically to where all the kids will have devices. Beats by Dre will be a part of it now, where all the kids will actually have Beats by Dre headphones. And the resource that we bring with these companies that the schools actually keep. With our program, we train teachers, we pay them extra. And again, we make sure they keep the resource that we bring when we do B2B with our company partners. Let's see. Next. One thing I learned, it's not about you. It's never about you. I'm pretty sure everybody that spoke to you before me understands this because they've made all the sacrifice to do something for something bigger than themselves. So as you're going to school this year and parents that you're around your students, understand that if you're trying to aspire to do something, to be somebody, to do something impactful, it cannot be about you. It can't be an underlying issue about you either, right? And I'm going to have quotes that backdoor with all of these at the same time. Focusing on ourselves will never reveal our life's purpose, right? And I strongly believe that. And that was by Rick Warren. And I believe that at the end of the day, there has to be a group of people that have to make a sacrifice for the ultimate good of what we're trying to go for our community. Like when George Floyd passed away from being murdered this past year, last summer, I'm asking my parents, what did you, I didn't want to ask my dad, I don't want to know what you did right during the civil rights movement. I want to know what you did wrong, because that'll help me to really learn how to really engage and connect these pieces so we don't have a recurring issue over and over again. So my life purpose is to engage the next generation. Marvin's life purpose is the same way. Miss Childs is the same way. Miss Kimberly's the same way. Kyle's the same way. We all made a sacrifice for the betterment of a group of people that really don't even really know who we are, right? And really, honestly, this stuff will be here once we leave this earth. And so we're making a huge sacrifice to make a change for our community. Timing is everything. I learned that within time, you can't rush anything. You have to be very patient, very, very patient. One of the quotes I love, sometimes we expect a harvest in the seed season, right? And so that doesn't mean that when you're doing something forward that you're not having action. It's just a part of the process of what you're trying to do. So don't try to rush into things or do things outside of your norm, because if it's not in that will of what's supposed to happen, it won't happen. And ultimately, if you kind of go forward too fast, it'll put you steps backwards when we're trying to go forward. Be different. I've learned at the end of the day that if you uniquely who you are, it will shine the brightest. I understood very long ago when I was in high school, I was playing basketball and I struggled with my standardized testing, specifically math. And as I got older, I realized it wasn't so much that I didn't understand it. It's just the teachers wasn't teaching me the right way for me to understand it. But also going into that vein of being different, staying true to what I think and what I believe, right? Often we all grow up, we have dreams and ideas, but sometimes people will speak to you or put their fears on you to shorten what you think about what you need to do for yourself, when it has nothing to do with you. Stick to who you are, be different. Don't get lost in yourself trying to find yourself. Like, this is like one of my favorite quotes ever. Like, don't get lost in yourself trying to find yourself, because on the quest of being who you are, you can really lose yourself, because again, trying to find yourself makes you want to start looking at self on the inward side. And you start to process things about, okay, now I'm not the best teacher I thought I was, or the best X, Y, and Z. And that might be scared. You might be scared with that. And so if you go through fine tuning the things within yourself, you'll really come out a better person. But always remember, it's you versus you, not anybody else. So while you're in school or while you're at work and things are not going right, that's okay. It's a part of your process to figure it out, right? And go about it the way that you need to make sure you're the best version of yourself. So never get lost in yourself trying to find yourself. What are you investing in? I invest in time, people, resources, ultimately myself. Those are my principles. I don't go away from that. If things that I go to or companies that I speak to don't go into that slide of my principles, I don't work with them. And that's simply just because at the end of the day, I understood that I want to make the work that I do very intentional, because I understand, like, if we don't make this investment into our kids now, who will ultimately, right? So what are you investing in? Think about the things that you're doing with your time, what you're doing with people, how you use your resources when you work with people, and how you ultimately bettering yourself when you become going through all these situations. You get exactly what you think. If you think negative, you will get negative. If you think positive, you'll get positive. If you act like a doctor, talk like a doctor, walk like a doctor, guess what? You have no choice but to be a doctor, right? But if you think that you can't do it from that moment, you can't. The moment you say you can't pass that test, you've already failed it mentally before you've done it physically. And so ultimately, I've learned that the power of your thoughts or ultimately will really be the thing that perpetuates your action. So it really starts mentally first with everything you do. And lastly, you got to believe. You got to believe so hard that it doesn't really matter if nobody else believes it but you. When I started my company 10 years ago, I told my parents I didn't want to work a corporate job and work for somebody for 40 years because I didn't really think that was going to make me happy personally. My parents didn't talk to me for a year. And I was cool with that because I believed in what I need to do for myself, right? Ultimately, when my parents transitioned, I still got to be here. And I have to still fend for myself, the family I want to grow. And you have to ultimately believe. It's probably one of the most underrated things people do, but also one of the strongest things you can do if you really tend to go into that for yourself. Until you truly believe, your creativity will really work against you, right? There's times where you might say you want to do something, but you really don't do it. And it's so easy to quit in the things that we do in today's form of fashion. I know with kids specifically, when they go to school, it's easy to get in trouble. It's easy to go do something to get written up. But to really look at yourself and say, you know what, I want to make something better of myself, it's hard. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's a long-term thing that we have to go through when we're trying to be who we want to be as, individuals. So until you truly believe in your creativity, you will work against you. And I'll give you an example of when you believe in yourself, what happens. So I'm going to show you something that we've done with beats. I think my audio, let me make sure I don't want to. Let's see. Jamaur, can you hear this? Okay, cool.
With a changing world around them and distractions inside and outside of the classroom, our students are becoming disconnected. But it doesn't have to be that way. Students want to learn, but they need the tools. Curriculum and technology working hand in hand with the sole focus of engaging, cutting through all those distractions, focusing on the needs of our students. Once we cancel out the noise, the possibilities are endless.
So our whole biggest thing is when culture meets the classroom, and that was just showing our partnership with Beats by Dre. Like they fully committed to what we're doing, not only from a product wise, but monetarily. So when we're going to these campuses and to these schools this year, we're looking to make intentional impacts. And we're looking at companies to make an intentional impact because ultimately we impact those companies every day. When we go to a grocery store at HEB, which is one of our supporters, I have to make them understand that parents come to your store every day and shop. The least you could do with that money is reinvest it back into the people that look like us that come into your store. Because ultimately, if we didn't come into your store and shop, you wouldn't have no job. So we have to understand where our money's going and how to dictate our dollars because ultimately we are the majority. We are the powerful resources that they need us. It's not the other way around. And so when we understand that, they tend to make better decisions with what they do and make intentional impacts with their funds. Let's see. And I believe, yep. I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna stop sharing. But ultimately, when Jamaur called me to do this, I thought it was really important to speak to ultimately us understanding that we're really all that we need. Sometimes we can ask for a lot of people to come ask us for help, but ultimately we have all the resources ourselves. We just don't talk enough to each other. And I think things like this helps us to allow us to be better humans together and to really conceptualize and really make ideas that can be impactful for a long term. Like I've worked with Mr. Pierre before. He's allowed me to come impact the students before this program because even in our research, we saw that 85% of the kids that's in the juvenile system are functionally illiterate, right? So that means they can't comprehend and make good decision-making skills because they can't read at a certain level. So ultimately, him allowing us to come in to do that allowed us to change that student's perspective for one time. I could have changed that kid's perspective for the rest of his life by him allowing me to come in for an hour to do that. Same thing with what Ms. Childs is doing in impacting young women. Like the fact that she's coming in to do that, she doesn't have to do that. And she's really trying to do it, which ultimately, there's a crowd that asks for these type of resources and information. But then when the actual solution comes, we don't gravitate towards it, which is contradicting itself. So really, I don't think sometimes the issue is just necessarily us asking a group of people that have historically haven't helped us, that we can really do it for ourselves if we just look in the mirror, right? So everybody on here, Ms. Morgan, Mr. Maroney, Ms. Jordan, Mr. Pierre, Ms. Childs, Jamaur, thank you so much for the work that y'all do, because ultimately it's the things that people don't see that are really important. You guys are doing real work that people need to see even more. So I'm actually just honored to even hear what you guys have been doing in the community, and in fact, you still continue to do it through the pandemic and find creative ways to be impactful to our community. So thank you so much. And Jamaur and Good Reasons, thank you guys for allowing me to come speak to you too.
Thank you so much, Jarren. We really, really appreciate you. And to our community members who are here, we've got just a few minutes left and we've got some amazing giveaways. But before we get there, we've got some question and answers that have been lifted up by our community members. And we're going to pick, we got over, this is amazing, of the webinars that we've hosted, that I've hosted this summer, we have not had this many questions at all. We have had 14 questions overall. And that may not seem like a lot to some people, but to me, that is impactful. That means that our presenters have done above and beyond and have really sparked the interest of our community members. And so I'll pull out a couple of those questions. And if we don't have a lot of time to answer them, I can put some of those in the answers in the chat. But one of the questions for Kimberly at Hope Disaster Recovery that a community member wanted to know is, do you all do any type of mortgage assistance?
So to answer that question, we do not do any type of mortgage assistance. However, the $1,500 payment from the Harris County Recovery Assistance Program can be used for mortgage. It can be used for childcare, transportation, whatever you feel the need, to use that money for, it can be used for that.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. And the next question that we have is for Stacey Childs over at GirlTalk University. The question is from a mother. I am a parent and a mother in the community. How can I volunteer with your organization?
Thank you, Mom. You can sign up by clicking the Contact Us button on the girltalkuniversity.org website, and we will contact you first thing in the morning.
Awesome. Awesome. And we've got two more questions that we want to lift up. One is from Marvin Pierre at 8 Million Stories. And it's a two-part question. I am a father new to Houston. My kid is struggling. How much is your program? And he attends a standard four-year high school. Can he still be a part of 8 Million Stories?
Yeah, it is the free program. And yes, he is able to be a part of 8 Million Stories. So we don't just have services for kids who need GEDs. We're helping kids find jobs. We're helping kids transition to college. We're helping kids get connected to mentors, exploratory learning, you name it. We're trying to just do a lot more with our young people to get them on the right path. So feel free to reach out and we'll find a way to get them involved in our program.
Awesome. And our last question of the evening is actually for our keynote speaker, Jarren. Well, first of all, the parent starts the question with, you guys are doing some amazing groundbreaking things with Reading with the Rapper. I have been following you all for a very long time, and I just saw your shoe release this weekend. I am a teacher in the community. How can I volunteer or work with Reading with the Rapper?
You can go to readingwiththerapper.com. And you could definitely go to the contact page and reach out to us from that perspective. When it comes to the schools, that's a little more different because we have to go through a lot more other processes for that to happen. But to be engaged, what I can tell you is that next year we are actually developing an app that will allow us to do the lesson plans and stream music simultaneously. But it also allows parents to be on the app as well to see the progression of the kids throughout the program. And if the kids are not doing what they need to do, they can actually play actual games and do programming with them while they're away at work. Because we know often a lot of times parents want to be impactful with their kids while they're in school, but they're at work. So now the app is going to develop to where teachers, parents, and students will be able to do that coincidentally together. And we're working with a brand that is really, really making a real investment for it. I can tell you that they're not pears. It's the opposite of a pear. It looks like a pear, but it's not a pear. So if you can understand what that is, you know what that is. But readingwiththerapper.com or letjustdolive.com, and you can go through our contact methods from there to make it happen.
Awesome. Now, we've got some amazing giveaways, and this is the part of the evening, one of the parts of the evening that I've been super excited about. Our friends at Harris County Public Health have decided that they will sponsor some of our giveaways tonight, and we've got some swag that we will be sending out to our neighbors. So we have got some cool sweatshirts and some other gear and giveaways that they've got. And then also, we are going to hip you to how you can qualify and register for our Target gift card giveaway that we here at Good Reason Houston are doing to help our families get some back to school supplies. So before I talk about the Target gift card giveaway, I want to announce our 4 winners this evening. And if you hear your name, I'm going to put my contact information here again in the chat. And I'd like for you to either shoot me an email or give me a telephone call. And we want to get these things sent right over to you in your size and everything. So our 4 winners for tonight are Danae Hughes, Kimberly Hatter, Claudia Magdalene, and Suzette Goree. So again, our 4 winners for tonight are Danae Hughes, Kimberly Hatter, Claudia Magdalene, and Suzette Goree. If you all could give me, I hope I said all your names correctly, if you all could shoot me an email and or a telephone call or text with your mailing address and your sizes, we will be sure from our friends at Harris County Public Health to get those prizes over to you. And before we wrap, I want to share this with you. It's we are really excited about this. Here at Good Reason Houston, I'm going to put the link in the chat. This is our Make It a Good School Year campaign. We want to make sure that our parents, friends, community members sign up. We want to get your information so we can keep you in the loop of all the things that we've got going on. And also, we've got events here like the one tonight. You can always sign up for our webinars and things that we've got going on. Our amazing resources that are across the region throughout all of our districts, all across Houston with all of our partners. And this will be constantly updated here. And finally, if you want to sign up to win one of 4 $50 Target gift cards for school supplies to kick off your school year, all you have to do is visit this website, fill this out, click enter. Our contest closes August 19th, so you've got just a few more hours, actually a couple of days. And then our winners will be chosen and announced on August 20th. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link here in the chat in real time so that before we get out of here tonight, every single person can sign up for one of those gift cards, and hopefully you are one of our 4 winners, and then you can just divide your gift cards in half and share them with me. But again, we hope that we get some great winners out of this. And so we really appreciate you so much. If there was any resource that you either may not have heard or you came in at a different time, or maybe you're watching this in the playback, if you want to connect with me, I am the manager of family and community engagement here at Good Reason Houston, and my email address is Jamaur, Jamaur at goodreasonhouston.org. Please feel free, or visit us at www.goodreasonhouston.org. Check out our team, check out the work we're doing, send me a contact, and we love to connect with you. We want to thank our friends at 8 Million Stories. We want to thank our friends at GirlTalk University, at Prairie View A&M University, at Harris County Public Health, at Bread of Life, at Harris Hopes, at Hope, I'm sorry, I said Harris Hopes, GirlTalk University, and Reading with the Rapper and Legends Do Live. We want to thank all of our partners tonight. We thank you all for sticking here with us all evening long. Very excited for the number of community members that logged in and engaged tonight. And again, our focus was to make sure that our community walked away with tangible things that could help them. And again, let me say this. Hope Disaster Recovery. I want to correct myself. Thank you to our partners at Hope Disaster Recovery, but thank you to everyone who logged in. Thank you to those who got these resources. Again, if you need us, we are here. Let's make it a good school year for our communities. And with that being said, I'm Jamaur Barnes at Good Reason Houston. We appreciate you, and good night.
Thank you, Jamaur.
Thank you, Jamaur.